Hi, this is Amit with Lean Science. Wimbledon 2017 has just wrapped up and Roger Federer has just won his 19th Grand Slam. And today we are going to talk about something that he seems to do better than just about any other professional athlete on this planet: the way he breathes. Now, to understand the context of what I'm trying to say, let's take a look at this video. And I'm sure this is something that tennis fans have seen thousands of times. There may be a 10 to 15 or a 20, 25 shot rally. And at the end of the rally, you see Federer's opponent desperately trying to catch his breath, heaving, trying to gulp in as much oxygen as he can. While on the other side, Federer shows no sign of cardiovascular distress, almost like he's out for a stroll in the park. Now, the first impression you may have is this is just because Roger's aerobic conditioning is a lot better than that of his opponent. But you need to understand that this is not some club level amateur that he's playing against. The person on the other side of the net is also a world class athlete. And in most cases, his opponents may be 5 to 10 years younger than him. So today we'll take a lean science look at Roger Federer's breathing technique and how you can apply this for yourself. To understand the science behind all of this, let's take a look at an experiment which I'm sure all of you have encountered at some point in your lives. This is essentially a glass jar where the bottom is cut off, and at the bottom you have a rubber sheet, and the top you have a balloon which is inserted into the glass jar. Now the way this whole thing works is if you were to pull down on the rubber sheet, there's a drop in air pressure inside the jar which causes air to get sucked in from the top and the balloon inflates. If you were to let the rubber sheet go, the air gets pushed out and the balloon deflates. Why am I telling you this? Because your lungs pretty much work in exactly the same way. Your chest capacity essentially is that jar. The balloon that I have shown inside are your lungs, and the rubber sheet that I'm showing is your diaphragm. So, if you really wanted to fill your lungs up with oxygen or with air in an efficient manner, really all you need to do is get the diaphragm pulled down and cause the air to get pulled in. Here is where the interesting thing happens, because a lot of people, if you ask them to breathe deeply, will do something like when the actual thing is something completely different. So to explain this technique, I will be standing sideways. So if you want the diaphragm to get pulled down, there's only one simple thing that you need to do, which is when you breathe in, you push your belly button out. Let me demonstrate. So if I want to breathe in, you should see my belly button move out and the air has been sucked into my lungs. If I want to exhale, I simply bring my belly button back in and the air gets pushed out. So let me demonstrate this again. I am taking extremely deep breaths, and throughout this you will find that my shoulders have not moved at all. I'm not trying something like, all I'm doing is, that is all there is to efficient breathing. Now it's important to note that the technique that I've just shown you is remarkably different from you trying to breathe deep this way. Because the moment you do this, you'll actually see that you're sucking your stomach inside, which is the opposite of what you want to do. If you aren't used to breathing this way, it may feel a little strange at first. The best way to practice this actually would be to lie down on your back, just keep both of your palms on your belly and breathe in and try to push your palms away from you using your belly button. When you want to exhale, do the exact opposite. Repeat this a few times and then you'll slowly start to fall into the rhythm of breathing the right way. Let's now come to exactly what Roger Federer does. Now while his opponent on the other side of the net is taking these deep breaths, you'll actually find Roger doing things like this. Or he'll be toweling off. It doesn't mean that he's not breathing deeply, but all he's doing is what I'm showing you. This is not going to show on my face, but I'm using the exact technique that I have just demonstrated to you. So understand this again. Just because it doesn't show on my face doesn't mean I'm not taking deep breaths. So this is a technique I'll strongly encourage you to work on, develop, and you can actually have some fun with it. I've tried this a few times in intense sports like badminton, where I may play singles against two opponents on the other side, and usually after a long rally, they'll be heaving and panting, trying to catch their breath, while on the other side, I'll be taking deep breaths without looking tired in the first place. And the usual reaction you're going to get is, dude, what's wrong with you? How are you managing this? Simply because you're applying a science which they haven't understood yet. And if you're able to do this in competition, that can give you a serious advantage because now your opponent is thinking, no matter what I do, this person simply doesn't seem to be getting tired. Hope you like this Lean Science video on Federer and his art of breathing. Please do like, share this video, and yes, do visit leanscience.fit for more details. Thank you.